Hey, this is actually something I wanted to talk to y'all about culturally, right? Like, how difficult was it? Like, is comedy how prevalent is it in your culture, like comedy? And like, when y'all decided that y'all wanted to do comedy, like, were people in y'all family like supportive, or they was like, what the fuck is this? What is this comedy? Like, what are y'all thinking about doing?
Yeah. Well, for me, I mean, it wasn't. I think growing up, in Venezuela when I grew up, because I moved to the U.S. when I was 12. But growing up, yeah, I mean, comedy is just making fun of people. That's like a very social thing. Like, you make fun of everybody,
right?
So it's like I grew up with that of like joking, always like riffing. So, but I never thought that was like a thing that I could do as a profession, And when we moved here, I mean, I majored in finance and international business. So I did all that stuff. And then when I realized I didn't like it, that's when I started going like, okay, what do I like? And I was like making people laugh. So when I did tell my parents that I was going to move to LA to pursue this, I believe in signs, like life gives you signs for you to, to fulfill your destiny. And I remember I told them and they just went like, okay. Which as my parents, that's like the white American parents going like, go get it, Skyler. Yes, believe in your dreams. Because I thought they were gonna go like, what the hell? Are you crazy? You crazy? How you get it? But they were like, okay, and to me that was like, oh great, that's a good sign that I should do this.
Right, they've been supportive.
So and they started, because I feel like, especially my parents grew up. I think it's also that even that old school like 60s, 70s of like their goals was to be in college. That was the thing, to have go in college and then have a steady job that you get a pension.
The standard.
That was back
path.
in the day, but.
Right.
So for them, obviously, like the whole entertainment thing, since I didn't grow up in an entertainment family, it's very, it's like also drugs and weird and sex, and then it's not safe, and it's not like, so it's like people didn't, so for them, it wasn't like they didn't know. So for them, it's not somebody that like they're going to push you to do that thing. So like, I think now they slowly, in the beginning, my dad was not like, he was always like, when you come back and do all this. And I would be like, no, I'm doing this. I'm not doing it,
Right.
So I had to like, argue with him. But now, my dad passed away, so he never got to see, but my mom now, she's very like supportive. She's like, sends me like, now like emails, like just like random emails of like Sofia Vergara's net worth.
All right.
That's
but like
great.
no subject line. So I'm like, what is this?
Right.
And she's like, no, just so you know. It's like, yeah, I want to.
This is what you could be.
Yeah, I was like, I want to make that money, but like,
right.
it's like, I'm just leaving you there,
Right.
So it's like,
I think that's great that your mom's doing that.
yeah, no. So I mean,
I think that's awesome.
And what about you?
Yeah.
With your people?
That's typically how brown parents are, man, or any ethnic parents. They're just like, okay, sure. And then once you become kind of successful, they're like, look what my son is doing. You know what I mean?
Of course,
He's doing great and shit. Yeah. For me, man, my family's all funny people, man. I'm very fortunate, especially my mother's side of the family. They're so funny. And in our family, our love language is roasting.
Got you.
When you see my mom and their sisters, it's like, do they ever say I like you? You know what I mean? They're just constantly tearing each other down nonstop. So I come from that background. But then, like, my dad was a very strict, like, Middle Eastern guy. He didn't want me to do anything like that. But as a kid, I was always creative. I was a DJ when I was coming up. He tried to stop me from doing that. You know what I mean? I tried to do acting. He tried to gear me away from that.
He's like, what makes you happy?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
what are your dreams?
Arabs, and but one thing led to another, man. My dad was just too much for me, and then we got into a fight. He kicked me out of the house.
Like a verbal or physical?
Was the one time I punched him in the face.
Oh, wow.
Because he was super strict, and I joined the Marines to get away from my dad.
Oh, wow.
Like the Marines was a vacation for me.
Really?
When I was in
you were ready to go there,
bro.
Like, this is nothing for me.
Right.
The thing is, in the Marine Corps, in boot camp,
you all believe in my dreams.
yeah. in boot camp, they try to break your spirit.
Yeah.
But my dad already did that. So in boot camp, I was laughing. Once I found out they couldn't hit me, I was like, you guys are hilarious. Yeah. So I was laughing all the time, always getting punished by these drill instructors. And then when I got out of the Marine Corps, I did the standard being a mechanic in Detroit. And then I got laid off. When I got laid off, I was like, you know what, dude? I'm just going to go take an acting class. Took an acting class. Kid in that class named Adam Peacock said, hey, man, I'm taking comedy improv classes at the Detroit Second City. You want to do it? I was like, sure. Took the class there. They had open auditions that week or like a couple of months later. And then I auditioned. And then I became an understudy. Within like a few weeks, that's when I started going, maybe I am funny. Because for the longest time, I make other people laugh. I never thought I was freaking funny. So I did improv for a while. And then when I did improv, I also started making films. Then I started making reality TV out here. And then long story short, I just like one day went to an open mic and I was like, yo, this is what I should have been doing.
I thought it would be funny if like you would have been like, so I came here reality TV and, you know, long story short, I'm doing porn.
Gay OnlyFans.
That kind of.
What about you?
Oh, well, that's cool.
Your people supported you?
My family didn't give a fuck, nigga. No, but, you know, I realized I was a comedian, you know, by like, not knowing I was a comedian. So I worked in a barbershop. I was the dude that was in a barbershop sweeping hair up in a barbershop.
Okay.
So I was the, you know, I was that dude. And, you know, I didn't really have much. So people would come in the barbershop and like try to mess with me because I didn't have much. Then I developed tough skin and then I just start killing them. You know, I just start taking off on them. So I was doing stand up.
I want everybody to know he means this literally.
Yeah,
he started killing
with
them.
words. With words.
Where's my crack money, motherfucker?
Right.
Sorry.
So it was more like sometimes I'd be like the difference between I would say like Kevin Hart friends and my friends, you know, because I read Kevin Hart book and if I remember it was a paragraph in his book and his friends was like, oh Kevin, you funny, you should go down to the Laugh House.
Right.
You know, that's like that's the Laugh House. You know, in Philly, that was like one of the top comedy spots. And my friends was like, yo, you funny. You should sell this crack, nigga.
At the Laugh House.
Yeah, at the Laugh House, nigga.